as men, if we want to become a better man, we have to go into the unknown, the uncomfortable side of life, the chaos, and begin to find some order in that. Better man choosing to expand the perimeters of your existence, the perimeters of your potential. This is the Better Man channel, where our aim is to become better men in every areas of our lives, and not only be a better man for self, but be a better man as an example to society, to those young men around us. Young boys have this inherent nature within them to be attracted to chaos, so that they may begin to impose their will upon it and form some sort of order. The old saying, boys will be boys. As young boys, we're drawn to the chaos. We're drawn to the unknown. We're drawn to that dangerous side, where we ask ourselves, what can we do with it? How can we begin to harness that and transfer that into something that works for us, right? And growing up with young cousins, man, where there was 4 or 5 of us constantly around each other, we were always challenging each other to form some order out of chaos. How can we push ourselves? How can we push the boundaries so that we can harness this power and begin to make it work for us? It's exciting. We've all been there, that young boy with the imagination of what if we could bring some order into this unknown, chaotic situation where there is this unlimited potential. And if we want to begin to expand our perimeters, and not necessarily in some battlefield or society at large, although I believe once we do that on individual levels, we can see that in a collective style, but just for self-improvement, self-actualization, self-reliancy, self-dependence, to become self-efficient, we have got to begin to expand our perimeters emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, to push ourselves. And in order to do that, we have to get uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable is a form of chaos, because it's in that unknown. We don't like to step outside of our comfort zone because it's chaotic outside. And that's what keeps a lot of people in a lifestyle of mediocrity, because they're not willing to push themselves so that they can transcend those limitations. There's always this unlimited potential around us. And that's a buzzword in the motivational world, potential. But I think we neglect the power or we neglect the agency that directs us towards potential, and that is chaos or the unknown. When we don't know the outcome of something, or we don't know how this is going to end, that's chaos. That can bring fear, that can bring anxiety. But every successful person has bridged that gap from the unknown to the known by having the balls and the fortitude to rope the neck of chaos and see where it can bring them. And if you'll ride it out long enough, and you'll learn through the trials and learn through the failures and the setbacks and begin to understand your own flaws, if you ride that out long enough, then you bring some order into that chaotic situation. You bring some knowledge and wisdom into the chaos, in which you can begin to mold that into an orderly fashion, because you've practiced, you fell, you've got back up, you've practiced, you've fallen, you've got back up, and eventually that chaos becomes into something that you can handle, which we will call structure or order. Within our nature, we have that young boy calling out for us to expand our perimeters, to open our eyes to the what ifs and the possibilities of life. But many times we get stuck in that herd mentality, where we're just going along with the flow, and we never push the boundaries because it's comfortable over here. And I'll be the first to admit, it's easy to get stuck and stagnant in that comfortable lifestyle. And then later on in life, you wonder, how the hell did I get here? And why am I not living up to my potential? Our potential is always going to be found in the unknown. Our potential is always going to be found in chaos. Many times we get scared of chaos because the chaos is unknown, and it can bring some anxieties. But that's where you separate yourself from the crowd, which is just going to turn around and go back home, when the tough gets tougher. But it's when the tough gets going and we put one boot in front of the other that we find out who we are. We test our mettle, we test our strength. And in doing so, you can only get stronger, right? In strength training, it's the resistance that makes you stronger, where everybody would do it, right? Everybody be willing to go to the gym if there was no resistance, if you didn't have to sweat, if you didn't have to get out of breath. But that's the chaos, the chaotic side of that allows us to harness it, grab a hold of it by the neck, and bring some order and structure into it. Look around you. There's all kinds of chaos. There's all kinds of unknown. And when we find the bravery, the courage to confront that and run into it head on and continue to do that despite the failures, despite the world telling you, what the hell are you doing? As men, if we want to become better men, we have to go into the unknown, the uncomfortable side of life, the chaos, and begin to find some order in that. It's within our nature. We've all been that young boy that has did the stupid thing that everybody's scratching their head and saying, what is he doing? It's because we're testing our abilities. We're seeing how far we can go. We're testing or pushing our perimeters of potential to its boundaries so that we know what we're capable of. And as we grow older, we grow a little more mature and have a little more wisdom, where we're not diving headfirst off bridges into 3 foot of water, but we still metaphorically will dive off the bridges into the unknown so that we can grab a hold of our potential, to know who we are, to have a little balls, as the saying goes, to be a man that pushes the boundaries, that is always pushing himself to go farther. But you can only go farther if you go into the unknown, go into the chaos. And it is going to whoop your ass a few times. But you have the fortitude to come out up top and the perseverance to keep pushing if you choose so. We're men created to harness chaos and bring some structure and order into it. We should be thankful for the unknown. We should be thankful for uncomfortable times. We should be thankful for the chaos, because it's in that we can actually push ourselves past mediocrity, to push ourselves past the herd mentality and begin to forge our own path. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.